when we started Fame too, I was just a news editor. I was not even an editor and Vintage People then. But I led the team that started Fame and changed a lot of things. So I would say that yes, I've been blessed. I have a very lovely wife. I have a very good family. I have kids. I'm a grandfather now. My first daughter, I have two kids, married and living in America. So by and large, I think God has been kind.
Okay. When one looks at you, you don't look 60, and you're still the same old mayor and all of that. I'm wondering what are the secrets, what are the in terms of lifestyle that you really.
Yeah, I think that apart from God's grace, I think one of the things is that I'm a guy that doesn't. I play hard and I work hard. I don't joke with my enjoyment. I I'm a vitamins freak. I take a lot of multivitamins. When I read, I read it also. When I read and I know that oh this thing is good for the heart or this thing is good for the brain or this thing is good for eyes or something, I will buy. So I always, when I read and I see that this thing can help, I buy and I use. So I use vitamins every day. If you look at my office bag, there are all kinds of vitamins there. And I use it every day. Like I said, when I just read anything and I know that this thing works. I'm also a massage freak. I do massage every week. I've been doing massage every week for over 20 years. Anywhere I travel in the world, I try to do massage. I think it's very good for stress, and I do that. And I think, I'm not sure, I think I have probably a very good chin because people always tell me that, oh, you don't look 60. I remember I traveled recently, I was abroad, and I was telling somebody that I'm planning my 60th birthday. And the person said, are you sure you really know your age? And I said, yes, I am. I'm planning my 60th. So I think apart from grace, I've always been doing things that will. And I don't really have any strong medical condition. The only major problem that I have is that I used to have gout a lot that affects my bones and my ankles and all that. And over time, like reading and getting to know more about gout, I'll be able to manage it. So I know drugs that I will use. I will take the uric acid from my system so that I won't have the gout attack. And apart from that, I'm good.
When you were young, did you decide that you're going to be a journalist or you're going to journalism? Was it just?
No, not really. When I was young, I wanted to be a lawyer. I've always admired lawyers. I think it's a very good, noble profession. So I wanted to be a lawyer. When I applied to University of Lagos, I applied law as my first choice and history as my second choice. But law in University of Lagos, the cut-off point is quite high. So I was not admitted for law. I was admitted for my second choice, which was history. So I told myself then that okay, after the history, I will go back and do law. But like I said, when after my first degree, I did my youth service in my degree. So that's where I did the interview for the Federal Civil Service. So when I was employed, and I found myself at maximum security prison as a social welfare officer.
Where?
Yes, maximum security prison. You know, maximum security prison, Kirikiri. I was a social welfare officer there. And that time was the time that Fela was in prison. That was the time Mudu Karabo and Tunde Thompson, the two journalists from the Guardian, were in prison. So I was really excited, especially Fela because I'm a Fela fan and I used to be there and all that. So from there, I became quite close to Nduka. And then, like I said, I wrote some articles for them in concerning Oka School.
Okay.
So I wrote an article using a pen name there. So after that, I started writing sports because I was close to. I'm also a football fan, and I was very close to people in stationery stores at that time. I know stationery stores were a very popular club, so I used to write stories about stationery stores for the Guardian Express. Then look, I now moved from news editor of the Guardian to become the editor of Guardian Express, which was the leading evening paper at that time. So it was later that Nduka told me to ask me if I want to join the Ghana Express, and I said yes, and I resigned. So, and I joined the Ghana Express. From Ghana Express, I moved to Prime People, Vintage People, then Fair. So that was how I forgot about being a lawyer and just concentrated on being a journalist.
Talking about your view of journalism and all of that, how do you see the various changes that journalism has gone through, both for the normal, the hard sell, the soft sell, and the journalism guy? What will be your view?
Yes, journalism has been interesting. When you look at it, is evolution in Nigeria. Most people who fought for our independence were journalists. Nigerian freedom fighters used the media as we're one of the few countries that didn't really fight a war to gain our independence. So journalism has always occupied a pride of place in Nigeria. So when I became a journalist, Guardian then was undoubtedly the flagship of Nigerian press, and I got a lot of good training in Guardian Express because it's an evening paper. We have to cover crime, we have to cover sports, we have to cover judiciary, everything. So after that, I moved to Prime People, which was like a soft sell lifestyle magazine under our guy, Mr. Miwa Adetiba. Then when Mr. Miwa Adetiba had problem with his board, we all now moved to Vintage People. It was at Vintage People that I met someone who planted the idea that why don't you let us do a magazine, and then we started and we were able to do film. But when you look at that, there have been evolution, the subset developing, City People and all the Prime People, Today's Choice and all that. But right now, because of the social media, it has affected it. And yes, people always say, oh, journalism. No, journalism will not die. It's just that we have to just adapt to the changes within the politics. Because I remember that when radio was discovered, people felt print journalism would die. That's what everybody thought. But print journalism survived. When television came, everybody thought print journalism would die. Print journalism would survive. Now there is the internet, and I still believe that it will survive. It's just that it affected magazines and periodicals more than daily newspapers. Because now people want their news at the go. They don't want to wait a week to get information. So you have to rejig. You have to find a way of still linking up with them on a daily basis for them to be able to get their news. A lot of magazines now are online all over the world because of the time thing, because people want the news now. And then the competition is more because now almost everybody is citizen journalist now. Because with your phone, you can take pictures, you can post, you can share your own ideas, and anybody can become literally a journalist in quote. But I think we will still survive it. It's a passing phase. It's just that practitioners will know that the internet has changed the game, and then we have to play it like that. The platform now is online, and everybody has to go that way.
Let's talk about your love for football. I know that you're a great football enthusiast. How did it evolve, and which club do you support and all of that?
Yes, I would say that my love for football started when I was in secondary school. At Adeolu Lutoda College, I was not good enough to play for the school, but I used to, like all kids, all of us used to play football. And I was a bit rascally when I was in the secondary school. So I were like the bad boys in school who would not go to school. We have a place called Council there, one bush, where bad boys used to stay. We would not go to school, we just stay there in Council and be playing football or fighting ourselves and all that. So my love for football started then, but because I could not play for the school, but I was involved with the school team. I used to travel with the school team. Then we have a very good football team back home at that time. So I used to travel with the team and all that. Like I said, when I started journalism, before I joined the Guardian Express, which is within the Guardian family, I was writing sports. I started my journalism career writing sports, apart from the stories that I wrote about the club. Then, because then I was supporting stationery stores. And stationery stores was the most supported club in Lagos at that time. And because I support stationery stores, I know people within stationery stores. So there's one man called Babajo, who is the team manager of stationery stores. I know him. So I used to go to their trainings. I used to travel with the team when they want to go and play league outside Lagos. So anytime I write stories, it will be because then sports is the back page. So it's usually a lot of time it used to be back page lead. So my love for sports developed because I was supporting stationery stores. And then when it comes to when the foreign team started getting into our consciousness, I became an Arsenal fan. I like the free flowing champagne soccer that Arsenal play, and those who know me know that I'm a very strong fan. So though in a couple of years they want to give me hypertension, so every beginning of the season I will say that no, I'm not going to do, especially when Wenger started misbehaving, I will say no, I'm not going to support Arsenal again. There was a year actually that I stopped supporting, not that I support Arsenal, I told myself, or I was deluding myself that I won't support Arsenal, I will support Man City. Myself and my friend called Lamex, for 1 year we supported Man City, bought Man City jersey and all that. But eventually I went back to Arsenal, and I'm still with Arsenal.
Okay.